Monster Hunter is back, baby! We here at Game8 are excited for Monster Hunter Wilds, and with its launch right around the corner, we thought it's only best to give you everything you need to know about Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds' story seems to be centered around the ominous monster called the White Wraith. After taking a boy named Nada under their protection, the guild sets off an expedition to hunt the creature that destroyed his village and rescue his people, the Keepers. As the hunter, you will be aided by your expedition team consisting of Alma, your handler, Gemma, your resident smithy, and your trusty Palico. Your mission is to explore the Forbidden Lands, a treacherous uncharted land, all the while hunting ferocious monsters. The rest of the story has yet to be revealed, but what we do know is that Monster Hunter Wilds marks the first time the hunter has a voice, outside of just fight grunts. That is, if you don't count Monster Hunter stories. Still pretty cool though. But let's be honest, the real reason people are so invested in this series is its gameplay. Monster Hunter Wilds retains its excellent gameplay loop. Take quests, hunt monsters, gather resources, strengthen equipment, rinse and repeat. While the game remains true to its core values, Capcom has introduced new features that will keep the hunt fresh for longtime fans and accessible for new players, like the focus mode and the support hunter system. The introduction of focus mode, as the name suggests, allows you to focus on a monster to help aim your attacks accurately. It also highlights wounds, making it easier to see weak points on a monster's body, so you can divert your attacks on weakened areas, making hunting a whole lot easier. Meanwhile, the support hunter system allows you to call upon NPCs, who can fill your party of 4 to aid on your hunt with just an SOS flare. Of course, you can always call upon your friends to help you take down monsters and enjoy their spoils with multiplayer and crossplay. For returning players, the combat feels different, but same. The movesets and animations were quite similar to MH Horizon Frontier, with the main difference being it flows a lot smoother, allowing you to chain more attacks more efficiently. This doesn't make encounters easier per se, since every monster will be different, but it helps. While I welcomed all these improvements with open arms, some issues need to be pointed out in the first beta. First off, it couldn't run at a stable 60 frames per second, which could be a problem upon release. Another issue is the number of times we got disconnected from a group hunt, compared to previous games where you can go about your business solo. Monsters would also clip through the inclined terrain, which has always been a problem in other MH titles. And most frustrating of all, the game crashed precisely 5 times just as the hunt was getting good. It's unclear whether it was the network issue or the performance, but this had to be fixed. On the second beta, I'm sad to say that the game still has some performance issues like characters and environments not being fully rendered.
What the hell? Oh my god!
The computers we used met at least minimum requirements, yet the game brought back sour memories from when MH World couldn't run properly. On the other hand, everything went swimmingly on the PS5. It handled the game's demanding graphical requirements, and the game looked phenomenal. Unfortunately, it crashed for an unknown reason during the tutorial, but I promptly restarted it and continued from where I left off. The game was working smoothly from there, and we could utilize the game's multiplayer to hunt 2 monsters available. But the hits kept coming, and one of our friends got disconnected mid-hunt and couldn't rejoin. These issues are alarming, especially with the game launching real soon. Hopefully, Capcom can take the necessary steps to ensure everyone can enjoy the game on all platforms. On a much more positive note, Capcom implemented a more open world format. Exploration and encounters will now be seamless, meaning as soon as you see your prey, you better buckle up for a fight. The devs promised an open world experience with harsh conditions and monsters you can hunt freely, and this is something that they have planned since Monster Hunter World. Executive Director and Art Director Kaname Fujioka revealed that they always wanted to design the ecosystem and environment more detailed and immersively. Capcom has since delivered. Despite only playing the beta, it's clear that Monster Hunter Wilds is larger in scale, allowing players to explore areas and hunt as they please. Much like MH Rise, the devs made sure MH Wilds also provided various types of terrain. But given its grander scope, the Sacred, a brand new mount exclusive to MH Wilds, will be introduced. While mounts aren't new to the series, this one has a Sacred of its own. Do you get it? Like, secret hunters will have access to their Sacred whenever. In combat, you can call upon the Sacred to keep you out of harm's way with added mobility, mounted combat, and weapon swapping. For the first time in the franchise, hunters can store a second weapon on the Sacred, adding a lot more versatility to your fights. So if your dual swords are ineffective against a monster, you can call upon your Sacred and swap to a blunt weapon. It's perfect for the open world, so you don't have to go back and forth from your base just to switch weapons. But that's about it though. The Sacred doesn't have any offensive capabilities, and it won't help you in the same vein as your Palico does. If you don't feel like taking your Sacred for a stroll, you can always pitch a pop-up camp. Players can set up several pop-up camps in each area, which will serve as a place to manage and restock items and equipment, as fast travel destinations, and if you faint, it can be used as a return point. Just be mindful of the area you place it in because some monster may not like you invading their space. As you explore the Forbidden Lands, you will experience dynamic weather changes that will drastically affect the visuals of an area, while also introducing different interactions that players can use while on a hunt. As the game describes it, the ever-changing weather will put an area's wealth and wrath on full display on 3 different stages. The Fallow, a period in which ravenous creatures roam the land in search for food. It's followed by Inclemency, the meteorological changes that alter the ecology and the time in which apex predators can appear. And finally, the Plenty, where life and fertility are abundant. The previous games in the series featured different areas with varying landscapes, and Monster Hunter Wilds is no different. The game will start you off in the desert region of the Windward Plains, with a forest region, hellish landscape, and icy depths revealed later on. No word yet on whether there are more areas to be added. Still, 4 areas could be enough given how large the Windward Plains already is. The 3 other areas could be on the same scale, if not larger than the Windward Plains, which is already plenty if you ask me. Monster Hunter Wilds also offers in-depth customization to make your hunters stand out from the rest. From hairstyles to hair color and even your character's voice pitch and bearing, you can truly make your character your own. It's all up to you, or just make them look straight up like Kratos. Apart from facial features, various armors will be available throughout the game. Of course, the more monsters slayed, the better the equipment you'll get. Just head up to your smithy and she'll take care of you. One thing the devs changed for MH Wilds is that the armor will no longer be gender locked, so players will now have access to all variations of the available armor. Well, now that you're all geared up, you can't go on a hunt without any weapons. What? You got a death wish or something? All 14 weapons will return to Monster Hunter Wilds, but with some twist. During the first beta, we tested out the Sword and Shield and the Dual Blades, the staples of monster hunting. We mentioned how familiar yet different they both felt, but in a good way. The Sword and Shield surprisingly had a perfect guard mechanic perfect for counters. The Dual Blades, on the other hand, are still as flashy as ever, but you're not as vulnerable to attacks even with the long animations of the Demon Dance. All these weapons play differently, and you're sure to find one that will cater to your playstyle. But one fact remains. They're all perfect for monster hunting. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, and the game's namesake, monsters. There will be 13 new creatures ripe for hunting in wilds. Having faced the available monsters during the open beta with all the new features excites the heck out of me. If the first 2 hunts were as great, I can only imagine what it would be like facing the rest of these behemoths. There are also 8 other monsters confirmed to return, including the classic Rathalos, in keeping with Monster Hunter tradition. There are probably more monsters making their comeback, but we just have to wait for the full release. That's about all the information available so far. Did we miss anything? What features are you most excited about in Wilds? Let us know in the comments below. If you're looking for in-depth info and guides for Monster Hunter Wilds, be sure to visit our website. And of course, for all your video gaming content, subscribe to our channel. Monster Hunter Wilds will launch soon on February 28th and will be available for all major consoles and PC. Till then, this has been Game8 and we'll see you in the hunt, hunters.